Good morning, Morning Musings by Melinda. Happy Monday. How was your weekend? I had a great evening on Friday night. I spent time with three ladies from Eric's house. If you don't know about Eric's house, you should look it up. It's called ericshouse.org. It's run by a fabulous woman by the name of Marianne Govea. She lost her son to suicide and has created this wonderful environment of healing and helping people who've also lost children to suicide, or brothers or sisters or parents, and or to drug addiction. And she just works her butt off tirelessly as she is creating this positive karma around her own loss, and understands better than anybody else how it feels to have that empty space inside that lasts forever. So if you haven't checked out ericshouse.org, please check it out. I volunteer there and help out as much as I can, knowing that I have a hectic schedule. But it was so nice to spend some time with the ladies on Friday night. And then Bill and I watched The Crown, which actually is, something that we're going to talk about today, is how history repeats itself and the karma of that. Because it seems like as our own life cycles are repetitive in our own karmic profile, and understanding why we repeat patterns in order for our soul to learn, I guess that's the way it is in collective consciousness. It's all about an ebb and flow of energy in so many ways that we don't recognize. In social media circles, we think that this is the first time that we've suffered such a political, firestorm around a pandemic, and it's really not. I've talked to you about that before, but geez, I did some great homework for you about how history repeats itself. But again, I think it's because in collective consciousness, we aren't learning. And we need to start learning how to be more respectful, more honorable, more integrous about connecting with each other in the collective, or history will repeat itself to the point where there were 5 extinctions of history repeating itself until we maybe also go extinct. I found this wonderful article by Clint Pumphrey, and he says there are 10 worst ways that history has repeated itself. 1 is military miscalculations, 2, economic crises, 3, assassinations, 4, genocide, 5, pandemics, 6, shipwrecks, 7, tornadoes, 8, engineering disasters, 9, school massacres, and 10, mass extinctions. So I have a couple to share with you because I just think it's really interesting. I won't go over all of them, but certainly I do think that there's some things that we are in recognition of history repeating itself. For example, Hitler was in many ways a Napoleon too. As the Holocaust is a huge point of discussion in schools, so is its leader, Adolf Hitler, the man behind the deaths of more than 6 million people via concentration camps designed to eliminate threats to the establishment of an Aryan race. Hitler's name alone represents evil beyond imagination. But the first time it happened was with the name Napoleon Bonaparte. And he doesn't conjure the fear like Hitler does, but there are eerie similarities between the two of them. He was a French military leader and an emperor who conquered much of Europe during the 19th century, described as shrewd and ambitious, and Napoleon was a hero of Hitler's. Hitler even visited Napoleon's tomb in France in 1940. In many ways, Napoleon was more than just a hero to Hitler. While many people recognize Napoleon as a former soldier, it is often overlooked that Hitler, too, was a soldier. Napoleon rose through the ranks of military during the French Revolution, and Hitler originally evaded military service in Austria-Hungary before eventually volunteering for the Bavarian army. Both Hitler and Napoleon eventually became dictators. This led to what is probably the most well-known similarity between Napoleon and Hitler, their downfalls in Russia. Both Napoleon and Hitler attempted to invade Russia in the winter, and both of them massively failed. Such an interesting thing about how we're supposed to be paying attention in today's world about how things have been happening. How about politics and the slander that we see between politicians and the name calling? Well, now we have social media, but during the 19th century, there were various candidates who were accused of infidelity, substance abuse, cross-dressing, and more, with physical attributes of the candidates being the most common focus of scrutiny. So there are times that candidates were accused of wearing women's corsets, and I guess Abraham Lincoln was accused of having stinky feet. So, things have changed and gotten maybe even more difficult, but it's really interesting. Well, you all know the story of Kennedy and of Lincoln, and how they were both killed on a Friday, and the coincidences that are not coincidences between them. I think I had that here somewhere, but I can't seem to find it for you. It's very interesting. Give me a minute. I'll see if I can find it. Well, let's talk about recessions and depressions. That's an ebb and flow through history and time. We've seen that happening over and over again. And here's my story about assassinations, that, both presidents were shot on a Friday with a fatal bullet to the head after being warned not to go out. The successors were both named Johnson. Andrew Johnson was born in 1808 and Lyndon in 1908. Both assassins, John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald, have 15 letters in their name. And most peculiarly, Booth escaped from a theater and was captured in a warehouse, which was really a tobacco shed, and Oswald fled a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Anyways, I just find it very interesting that it's about time in the collective mind that we stop repeating the patterns that we've seen in history. History is not teaching us. We are repeating those patterns in so many ways, and it's our personal responsibility to not only work through our own karmic profile and figure out our own patterns and why we have the ebb and flow of repetitive lessons that teach our spirit, but perhaps we have to do that too as well in the collective, so that history does not continue to repeat itself and we eventually get blown off this planet in one way or the other. Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting topic today. I hope that you all, again, have had a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to talking with you tomorrow. Remember, I have now limited my morning musings to Monday through Thursday. They vary in time because my schedule varies in time between the first time that I have my first client and my last client at night. So we'll watch the night before so that you can watch the musings. And if there's something that you think is worth it, please give them a share. Thank you. Have a great day.